So we'll need to go find, no, not that, no, not that. We need to go find a boxer, a real boxer, not. I mean, Woody Allen is funny, and the drawing is cool too, but we need to have. Maybe I should put boxer, boxing champion. Come on. Oh crap. Hold on. My stupid keyboard. Come on. This happens all the time when I pick up. It's a wireless, so when I pick up my keyboard and move it, sometimes it disconnects because I touch the button on the back. It's really dumb. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, so back to browser. Let's go find champion. If I could spell boxers. Not briefs, not Amazon. We're looking for people. Vladimir Klitschko. Oh, that sounds like a good one. Jack Dempsey. Yeah, we should use somebody that's already like in the public domain. Let's see if we can find a guy that's just full body. Oh, this. I think we had this problem last time. It's all upper bodies, just half shots. How about I try this then? Let's try boxing stance. That should give us something better. Yeah. This tells you how not to do it, and this tells you how to do it. That's kind of cute. This could be a good one. It's because it's got them from all different positions. So let's save this guy here. So when you're hunting for research, you want to make sure that you save, that you collect as much as you can. And that way, I don't want to host it. I want to save it. Oh, this is PhotoBucket. PhotoBucket is bad. It's just it's a difficult site to have to use. I like going through my books and looking for things in my books because you're often going to get a better quality. Yeah. No, you wouldn't find a boxer. No, you wouldn't find it. That's an unusual thing. The kangaroo thing, you probably would have to get a special book for that. But for ideas, for using ideas, I like to use. I need the tools. I need size. We need big. Always look for the big ones. This is a good one too. Oh, that's a great one. That's a Getty image. I like that. Doesn't really matter what color they are. Let's take a look at it because we're going to be doing it all in black and white anyway. But that's kind of a classic. Oh, am I going to have to pay for this? You bugger. Yeah, it's not going to give me the whole picture? Only half a picture. Oh, crap. Well, that's another problem with searching for it on the internet. I just want to get the one. We can't see the whole thing, can we? Oh, wait, maybe if I get rid of this. There we go. It's going to be too small. Even though it says it's a big image, it's going to be we're not going to be able to access the big image because it's going to, yeah, it's going to keep us out of it. Oh, wait. Maybe this is better. If I can get rid of this thing. Yeah, it wants us to license it, but we can save this. This is pretty good, so we'll save this one. All right, let's see what else we can find. The lighting's not great. There's a few things you want to pay attention to when you're compiling or trying to put together images from different sources. And one is the eye level. If you're at the same relative eye level as the two things that you're trying to put together in the same position or at the same eye level, and the lighting needs to be similar. And if you're doing like a Photoshop montage, then you have to make sure that the resolution is similar. So since we're using these for reference and drawing rather than Photoshopping it, doesn't have to be. I don't like the boxing gloves. Do you want to do them with boxing gloves on? Yeah, I guess you probably should, huh? That's cheap. That's not a good reason to do it. You're going to have to still draw the fists under the gloves. Yes. You can't take shortcuts with art. I mean, you can, but it isn't worth it. It ends up being more trouble than it's worth. Okay. If you don't want to do it, then and yeah, sometimes things are just impossibly difficult, but it's not a complete. Good heavens, that's the most weird thing I've ever seen. This picture here. I just want one more picture of a side view. This one here. That could be okay. That site might be okay, actually. Site network. There might be better pictures on the. Oh dear, maybe not. I don't want videos. I want pictures. Oh, okay. There we go. Let's see if we got some pictures here. No, that's the one that we already saw. I want to do it from the. It's very. You want to avoid the distortion, too, because photographic distortion is a really difficult thing to work with. So try to find one that is. Yeah, this isn't going to be useful to us at all. Not distorted if you can. It's hard, but this is okay. Even though his foot's missing, we can probably find his foot somewhere else, or we could use this guy on the right. So let's look at that. Let's save that one. The light is kind of interesting too. So when you're looking for reference, you look at all these things. The light, the eye level, it's a very low eye level, which is fine as long as we want to stick to a low eye level. I like this guy spread out because it's easier to draw the figure when he's all spread out than it is when they're all tightly bunched up like this. So at least as far as the anatomy goes. So let me just, let's see with this guy here. That's a little blurry, so I don't want to use that. Oh, that's a YouTube video. I don't want to do YouTube videos. I mean, you can draw from YouTube videos, but they're kind of a pain. And this is a cartoon, so you don't want to use that. This is a bad drawing, so you don't want to use that. It takes a while. I mean, It probably is half the project to hunt for good reference. Okay, so I think we got some stuff. So let me put that one guy in this thing here. Bring up. No, I want to turn the hiding off. Turn hiding on. There we go. So get a picture. We'll add a window. Image. And we'll go look for the one we just saved. This guy. We've also got. I think this one is a winner because we can use that in a number of different ways. Okay, then finally kangaroo. So let's go look for a kangaroo. We'll try this one. No, that's going to be all videos, isn't it? I don't want videos. You'll never get good reference from a video unless you're trying to do motion. It's another video. That could be good. It says feet are buried in the grass. So that's problematic. We would have to get, oh, maybe this one would work. No, it's too small. All right, so we have to go back, set this in to be big. That could work. That could really work. Let's see this one. Nope, too blurry. This one. They're so muscular. Look at how he balances on his tail. That's pretty amazing. That could work too. So let's see, this one could work. Let's see this one. Save this. And this one. That's a pretty good image. It's got pretty good resolution. Okay. So we're done with that. Now we can pull up those guys too. So many images on here now, but that's all right. To what? I'm going to replace Woody Allen with one of the other pictures. I can't tell which image is which anymore. I didn't name them, so. No, that's not it. There it is. Okay. Turn this off for now. So we can see all of our images. Boxer dude, drawing dude, kangaroo dude. This one I'm going to throw away. That is from a browser source that's actually reading it off the internet, which isn't ideal, but Maybe better if I go and get the actual image. Save that into the references too. Okay. All this stuff takes time. There's no shortcuts. There really isn't. It's like some people are really fast at it. Some people have to take their time at it, and that's just the way it goes. Nope, not that one. This one. Okay. So I'm going to just going to try drawing these two guys and see which one I like. Now, there's a little bit of a problem with this and this. That this is from underneath, and this is from above or higher eye level. Let me pull up that other image, see if the eye levels match better. Let's see this one. Yeah, those eye levels, that matches better. The eye level matches better. You see how they seem to be more from the same point of view? Do you see how that works? So that we're looking at them almost from the same point of view, because here's their feet on the ground, and there's their feet on the ground. So this almost matches up as far as eye level goes. Now, we could use, actually, you could mix and match them any number of ways. So let's go ahead and I'll put this guy over here, I'll put this guy over here, and I'll turn this guy off. Whoops. Crap. That's not what I intended to do. Turn that off. I'm going to turn that one off. Okay. And now I can turn on my camera again. And I'll draw. So I'm expecting you to draw with me. And then I'll send you all these images so that you can work on a final drawing that is based on the images that we've got here. Shoot. I wish my screen was just a little bigger. Now I'll make these guys a little smaller. You'll have the full-size ones when you do your actual project. For now, we can do this as just your study. So this is going to be like your new concept. Okay, and so we're going to do a couple different ones. It's good to do several different versions of your concept before you settle on one actual thing, so that you can be sure you're doing what you think is going to be the most interesting. So I've got this kangaroo that's like, he's on his tail, which is kind of cool. And so, if you were designing a character that you were going to use in a comic, because that's what you're thinking of doing in the long run, right? Is working on comic books or cartoons, right? Yeah. So you want to design the character, and even if your drawing skills are not super high end, you'll hire somebody that has really good drawing skills, hopefully. But the easiest thing would, of course, to be sketch out your idea in a rough form that you can give to them, so that they know exactly what you want, because a picture tells 1,000 words, right? So if you can explain what you want in a picture, it's more effective in the long run than the just trying to write it out. So I've got one little kangaroo guy here, and I'm going to pair him up with this other guy over here on the corner in the right. So we know that the kangaroos and the humans are about the same size, roughly. So I'm going to make, yeah, just near abouts. So he's got his shoulder hunched up. You see how he's hunching up his shoulder? That's pretty, I think that's important to the way that the stance looks, because he's angling, so you want him to have that look. And we can put his shorts on him here. His other hand is here. Oh, and they've got small boxing gloves too. This must be like mixed martial arts or something, huh? Because they're not all completely covered with padding. So here's the halfway mark. Just like I draw all my figures and make them 8 heads high. His head, shoulders, and his leg. So that could work. That almost matches up. It feels like an interesting composition. I'm going to try drawing the other two guys. I'm going to try drawing this guy. He's stretched out, so you can give him a nice long line, and you're just going to have to imagine where his foot is for now, and then just have to kind of like guess his foot's going to be down there. So middle, again, find the middle of the figure. That's going to be the pelvis, and the other leg is stretched out. So this is actually a really nice pose for a very action-oriented. See how his head comes down over his shoulder, and then his arm comes out and up. So proportions are really important in getting the feel of the figure as well. So we've got this with his shorts, and his knees are right under his shorts. So that helps us find where his knees are. He's also barefoot, which is kind of nice. And it won't be too hard to find that missing piece of anatomy somewhere else. So and his shoulders are hunched up too. So here's his hunched shoulder, stretched shoulder. There's his elbow, his arm. And I'm going to put it with the other kangaroo. Put him down. Like he's, how is he doing? I can almost put him where the other guy is, almost. Like he's ducking the blow. I don't want to actually get hit, though, because I don't believe in hitting animals. I think that's bad. But it's your project, so you can change it as you please. So here's his line of action with his tail. And here's his body. And here's his hips. Here's his little shoulders. Is Picardo giving me? Well, I've got a recording of it, which I can post to YouTube and give that to you, and then it should play, since it's recording it direct time. Okay. Okay, we'll thin them down. Thin them down a little bit. Because this is just this gesture sketch. This is just the initial idea. Then you have to decide which one you want to work with. So this is good because his feet are showing. And that's something that we don't have to go find kangaroo feet somewhere else. Okay, so they're on the same ground plane. You want to make sure that you have consistent ground plane, consistent eye level. The lighting on the kangaroos is kind of ambient, like it's a cloudy day. The lighting on the boxers is much stronger. So that's okay. We can we don't have to worry that much about the lighting. We can put stronger lighting on the kangaroo. So now we've got two ideas. We've got this idea, and we've got this idea. Now I'm going to flip it. I'm going to flip these images. And I can do that by transform. That's right. I'm going to flip horizontal. Whoops. It didn't go because I did the wrong one. I did the whatever's behind it. There we go. So now we've got a whole different point of view. Oh, I did this one? Wait, no, that's that one. Okay, so I'm going to match up these two guys now. So we're going to have four. I'm going to have four ideas. And you're going to have to figure out which one you want to use. So I'll put our kangaroo here on the left again. And flying in the air with the greatest of ease. And it's not a bad idea to draw these things, draw something over and over again, because you'll become more comfortable with it, and it'll get better and better. That's the theory anyway. His feet kind of go missing in the gut of the other kangaroo. We'll have to figure that out. So here's this guy. And now I'm going to do the other boxer that's facing him. I'm going to put his head right about there because his leg is coming down here. And his halfway mark, his other leg is coming down here. Maybe his hand is closer. Shoulders. I made him a little too skinny, but so I'll have to fatten him up a little bit. That one could work. Yeah. I'm going to try him with the other two. They would still work. Let's try it. So we'll do this curved guy here. This guy's shoulder hunched up again. Now you could do this in Photoshop, paste them and cut them apart and put them together in Photoshop and look at it that way, and that would be faster. But you need the drawing practice anyway, so this is not a bad thing to learn. You can use these sketches individually if you want to for part of your assignment, and it will improve your drawing. So while it might be easier to visualize the, just putting them together in Photoshop, I think that it would benefit you to just go ahead and use it as a drawing exercise. Oh, did you ever hear back from your advisor dude? Yeah. Oh, okay. So that's another option. So what if I got this one and then this one? I'm just kind of liking the look of this one because just as a composition, and you always want to think about your composition as well. Just as a composition here, it seems interesting. It seems balanced to me. It's got, this nice action. Diagonals in a composition are really important, and this has got several. It's a very dynamic composition. It's interesting. So I like this one so far. This one works. This could be fine. This one's okay. It's not quite, because he's more vertical. Maybe it's not quite as dynamic as the other, but it's interesting too. And this one is more compact. And we can try one more option by turning this guy the other way. Flip. Transform. That's kind of actually, I think we've done that. I think it's similar to, it would be this one just reversed. So I guess it would depend on whether or not, no, we'll draw it anyway, whether or not you like to have that. The man on the left or the man on the right. And more drawing is good drawing, so that's totally cool. And what's really nice is if you're drawing something that you really find interesting, you're more likely to spend that extra time on it to make it look really cool. So I think that if you're invested in, that's why I try to get people to do something that they really like. Let them make up, the project. When you get into the real world, most of the time you're doing other people's ideas, and it's hard. Yeah, he would actually be making other people do the hard part, but you get to do the fun part because you'd be designing it to suit yourself and giving them the directions. And we can actually bury his feet into the boxer's crotch if we want to. Give him a little belly. His legs. Give him some meat on his legs. Okay. And his little paws are right here. We could put boxing gloves on him for the final if we want to. Looks like he's got a horn. So of all the drawings that you've just done, that we've done, which one? This is interesting. I think this feels better than when we did it this way. For whatever reason, it's the same drawing, but the figures are reversed. And I think just because it's moving to the right, whereas this is moving to the left, and that's a little more awkward. Sometimes you look at what you might want to do before you decide is pin all your drawings up on the wall and think about them. Give them a little while to just kind of feel it out and see which one you like best. Do you have an idea of which one you like best so far? You feel the same way about them all? Okay. I don't want to make your decision for you. So, because that takes away part of your creative process. So I would say pin them up on the wall and look at them for a while till you get a feeling of which one seems like it would be more fun. And then I would take that one and draw it again and draw it again until you get the figures positioned. Yeah, till you get the positions, because I think what happens, what you tend to do here. Let's look at this guy. I got to turn it back. I didn't mean to flip it. This one's more lined up on the feet as a scene. This one is kind of angled, unless he's leaping off the ground. But since I'm not sure what you're using for reference, and his legs are still too short, you often in particular seem to squish the legs. It's not being bad. It's just a matter of perception. Okay? Don't think of it as bad or wrong. Think of it more along the lines of how are you seeing it? And if you're always seeing the figures with shorter legs, then it might be worthwhile to just put the head and the foot and put a line in the middle and force yourself to put that pelvis on that line. And the tip of the pelvis goes on the line, because it's really the hip joints that are the bend line of the human body. So then if you take that and you divide that in half again, then you've got a pretty good standard of where the human body's proportions are. And then you can give him a chest and shoulders, and then he's got this head. So that can help you get your legs longer, because it's really that's the thing that's hurting you most on proportions. So if I were to take this guy and just double his, those were his knees, where his foot is right now, and make another segment, then he'd be right height. So it's almost like if you're, if he's not right now, he's this tall, but add another 2 heads to him and he should be a good height. So that's going to be a challenge for you, because I think that we get used to drawing a certain way, and if we keep doing that and not forcing ourselves to change, then it just becomes more and more, it's like a habit. Like you always part your hair on the right, or that's a stupid idea, but say when you're you always have the same thing for breakfast every day, whether you want it or not, because that's just what you've always done. People are creatures of habit. So you have to kind of sometimes take yourself by force almost, and force yourself to do something out of, if you want to change a habit. So like for me, I wanted to draw every day. So I forced myself to do this thing at noon, and I don't get there at noon, but I still keep trying to come every day, and I still end up drawing every day. And my drawings are getting better, and I'm feeling more comfortable with my drawings. So that is, it's like I had to force myself to go back to my discipline. It's a discipline, really, to find the good in it. And when I used to do video games, I didn't really like video games, but I liked the idea of creating these stories and the mythology and all the stuff that I find what was interesting to me about it, and that allowed me to work with it. So, and that's kind of what Oh, hello, Mom. um, so when you decide, I want you to really spend some time on this today, okay? Even if it's boring. If you need to take a break, go take a break, but come back to it. I don't want you to stop on this today until you've decided and done a gesture sketch that's at least as complete as this. Okay, so that you know where the figures are, they're in the proper proportion, they're in the proper eye level, they're within the think about the whole composition, not just, and this is really interesting, now that I think about it, it's something that people do over when kids learn to draw, when they first learn to draw, it's messy and scribbly and all that stuff, but they fill the whole page. It's like the whole page becomes the canvas. And then as kids get older and they start doing more and more specific things start to shrink and the page is less important. And it's the object in the page that becomes most important. So most people kind of get stuck there. And I think that's kind of what's happened, is you've gotten stuck in that part of drawing, that development of drawing. When people get to be about 10 or 12 years old, they usually stop drawing because they can't make it look real. And it's really, really frustrating. So once you get past that point, you'll start thinking about the composition again. And you may never draw super realistically. You may draw only as well as you can draw, which is totally fine. But as long as you can get to the point where you're thinking compositionally about either the whole person as a whole and making the proportions correct, or the composition of the two together, I think that it'll be a breakthrough for you. Does that make sense? So I really want you to focus on getting the scenario. And if it helps to put in a ground plane, then do it. If it helps well, eventually you're going to want to do this anyway. I'm just going to do it right now because I want to do a little more drawing because I like to draw. I think drawing is fun. I'm going to put in the boxing ring. So I'm going to, and I don't know which one I like better now either because now I've looked at them a million times and I'm feeling a little bit ambivalent. But the eye level is pretty low. So the perspective is going to be really challenging. If this is our ground plane, so our vanishing points are going to be eye level is probably right about crotch level, okay, just about hip joint level. So our vanishing points would go there, and if this is the ground, so I have to kind of think it through, like puzzle it out, logic it out. And if I put in the boxing rink floor, going to go into, okay, that's how it's going to go. So the back of the ring is going to come down a little bit because I think, and actually you can see it on this guy right here. It does seem to kind of go down a little bit. It does seem to vanish into the distance this way. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that idea, and this maybe is coming forward. I got to keep that ground plane. The ground plane is important because we're stuck with that because that's where our figures are. So in the boxing rink, now that kind of gives you almost an idea of the overall proportions. It might make it a little harder. It's making it a little harder for me, but I'm going to try it anyway. So here's my guy. He's on his tail. So make sure that you are looking at the balance of each figure. And this one, he's stretching out this way. Oh, too big. More like this. And his arm is going straight for the poor creature's head. Then his waist is going to be, again, if you have to do this, do it every single time. Mark the halfway point. Put his hips there first before you draw his legs. That may be the trick. You have to trick yourself into getting the legs the right length. And this is kind of cool because their feet are almost touching. I think that works. Hopefully they're realistically proportioned to each other. Oh, and his arms are out too. So now I've given it a little bit of an idea of an environment. And then now it seems like they're bigger, doesn't it? It seems like they're monumental almost. It's a difficult angle, eye level. The other thing you could think of for the background instead of the boxing rink is maybe like just an illusion of bleachers in the distance. The people in the background. Don't worry about that. No, I don't want you to do that. No, just think about the boxing ring and maybe a couple of lines like this. That's going to be your environment. Maybe there'll be faces down here. You know, you can put like shadowed heads or whatever, or not. Don't worry about it too much. Okay, so that's what I want you to do. Once you've got it settled and you figured out which one you like the best, and you draw it, and draw it until you get it the way you like it as best as you possibly can. Just start over if you have to. If you have to do it a few times, it's okay. And then I want you to send it to me. And as soon as you send it to me, we'll talk again. We'll get together and talk again about the next step. But don't give up on this today. I don't want you to end today before you've worked out your composition. And I'll mail these 2 images to you right now. All right. Sound good? And do you want me to take pictures of all my sketches and send those to you too? Okay, I'll do that, and I'll post up the recording on YouTube so that you can look at it again. All right, good. It's like we're making progress here. Okay, I will. If you don't get the stuff from me in the next half hour, text me to see what is up. But I should have. Actually, text me when you've got the email that I'm going to send you with all the pictures and the links. Okay. All right. That's good. All right, I'll talk. Yeah, no problem. Talk to you later.